welcome back to my channel. Just before I start today, I'm going to be talking about a recent trip I made to Portsmouth. I had a little bit of a not very nice experience this morning when I was coming back from the shops. It took me quite by surprise. I don't have great spatial awareness, and I might have told you this before. I don't have great spatial awareness. I do often get in people's way. I often particularly in busy areas, I'm not always sure where to walk, and often, particularly, sometimes I'm in my own little world and I'm kind of zoning out a bit, and I can be a little bit in people's way. But this particular experience hadn't happened to me before, and it did. I'm fine, by the way, but it did shock me. Took me quite by surprise. I was just walking along a sort of quiet road, and I wasn't expecting it. It's not the sort of road where you expect, this adventures to happen. It's a nice quiet little road, and I often just leisurely walk along it. It sort of almost is along a pedestrian way. I mean, it does have pavements going alongside it, but people often just casually walk on a road on that little bit because you don't expect anything to happen down there. And indeed nothing has ever happened on there before. And then suddenly I was taken quite by surprise. A bike suddenly came really close to me. I was walking in a straight line. I wasn't even walking off on the side. I was just in a straight line. And he didn't sound his alarm. He didn't ring his bell. Nothing. If it's a car, you might hear it coming, and I've got very acute hearing, so I can always hear cars coming, and I'm very careful around cars and stuff. And there weren't any cars around that area, so I was not expecting this. And he suddenly came really fast behind me and elbowed me, went right on my side and hit me on the elbow. I'm fine, it didn't hurt or anything. I think he was probably more at risk. I was like bloody hell, because he came off his bike. All that happened to me was that I knocked my elbow, and that just shocked me. It didn't really hurt or anything, and I'm fine. No bruises, no scars, nothing. I'm fine. It wasn't. It was more shock more than anything. Yeah, I'm still quite shocked by it. But he came off his bike. He was fine. He said worse things had happened to him. He sort of shrugged it off. So I was like, bloody hell, because he came off his bike, but he was fine. He didn't hit himself or anything. He just landed on his feet, But I was shocked because I thought he was hurt or something. So I ended up I just stood there and I didn't know what to do. And part of me was thinking I just need to carry on walking because I really hate situations like that. And I think particularly in the past I would have just walked off because more out of fear more than anything. I don't know what to do. I literally do not know what to do. So I was on the verge of walking off, but then I just stood there feeling really stupid, and then two people staring at us. I think I made it worse. Why do people stare? Really? Can't you just mind their own business? And yet they always have to stare and then pass judgment. It's you don't need to pass judgment, do you? The young lad, he was really good about it. He was fine. It was those other two elderly men who were staring at us, and I think that made it really awkward and made me feel really uncomfortable, and I didn't know what to do. So I just apologised and stuff, which is kind of all you could do in a situation like that. And I just made sure he wasn't hurt or anything. He wasn't hurt. He was fine. He just shrugged it off, and he wasn't hurt or anything. But I didn't know at the point, so I didn't know until he told me. He said he was fine and everything. He just got on his bike and then went off again, and reassured me he was fine. It was more shock more than anything, and and then I felt really, and I started blubbing, and I was literally about to well up and cry, not because I was hurt or anything, just more out of shock, and because the two people who were staring at us, and then one of the man, he shouted out, he said, "You shouldn't be on the road." He said, "You're walking on the pavement." It's I hate it when people say that, I'm a bloody adult. Yes, that really pissed me off, and it's the fact that these people were judging, and many people walk along that bit, and if anyone, obviously, again, maybe I should have been walking on the pavement, fair enough. I'm not saying I was all in the right and anything, because I wasn't. To an extent, we both shared blame, but he should have rung his bell. He didn't. He could easily have rung his bell, and I would have got out of the way. He was going way too fast, and people really, and I think often bikes, people think, oh yeah, you can cycle anywhere really fast, but they should be careful. Because in a sense, a pedestrian is a weaker party, and I was walking in a straight line. I wasn't swerving or anything. And if it was a car, a car would have beeped its horn or something. Or actually, I would have heard the car if it was a car. Because I'm looking around. That's the thing, and I weren't any cars were there. He was going really, really fast. I think that's the difference. Because if it was a car, I would have heard it and I would have idled out of the way. Because I've got my wits about me all the time with cars. I'm very, very, very hyper alert around cars. So I think in a way bikes are even more dangerous. So in a sense it was probably, so if both of us in a sense were culpable. But why that man who was like staring, judged me. I always get the blame, and it makes me really pissed off. But anyway, I'm fine, by the way. I was quite tearful afterwards for a little while, more out of shock more than anything, and also the fact I'd been judged by that man, which I thought was really not very out of order, a bit out of order, particularly as he shouted at me. So, not the guy on a bike, the elderly man who was, yeah, really irritates me, but there we go. Anyhow, that's all out of the way now. So now back onto more cheerful matters. I'm fine, by the way. I was quite tearful, but I'm fine, and I went into the shops to look at some food and sorted it out, so I'm fine now. Just more of a shock more than anything. Wasn't expecting that. It's never happened to me before, never. You know, I bumped into all sorts of things, got in people's way, big as, hasn't happened to me before. I guess that's the first for everything. Bikes, yeah, they are quite dangerous. So, anyhow, this might have to be done in 2 videos, by the way. In actual fact, I think I am going to do it in 2 videos. This little video here, a very short video, is just talking about this event today that did quite shock me, and I think I'm going to do my second video on Portsmouth, so it doesn't count on me. Yeah. It really, yeah. But anyhow, let me know if any of this sort of thing has happened to you before. I think often, I've often been shouted at for getting in people's way. As I said, my spatial awareness isn't great, but in this particular case, I'm not sure it was to do with the fact my spatial awareness isn't great. I think it's more the fact that, you know, he was going way too fast, and I think this could have happened to anyone on that stretch. You know, it could have happened to anyone. I think certainly people do walk down there minding their own business, and he was going way too fast. So I think in this case, I'm not sure it was to do with my spatial awareness. In this case, I think it was the fact that he was going way too fast and should have beeped it on. But there we go, you know. I was quite shocked when he fell off his bike, and I was like, as I say, I literally did not know what to do, and I really can't deal with situations like that. I didn't feel anything. More than anything, I was just staring there, not knowing what to do. So then I just said, and then like I came to it, and then I realised, oh shit, this has happened, and then I started like uttering lots of. I just felt I had to keep on apologising because it's more the fact I was on show, like, you know, people staring. Like, I really hate it. I just do not understand why people have to stare. Like, if I was like, if I saw that, I might say, oh, that was good, but I wouldn't have like shouted out anything. Why people have to always pass judgment on others? They're self-righteous. They're so self-righteous. Why do people have to do it? Why can't they mind their own business? And why can't they just leave other people to what they're doing? It's between me and the guy on a bike. I apologised. He apologised. You know, I felt a little bit shocked. He probably felt shocked. Why did other people have to? Yes, it really pissed me off. But there we go. Get it out of my system. Anyhow, I want to move on now to talk about lighter-hearted stuff. So I'm going to move on now to talk about my recent trip to Portsmouth, and that's a lot more light-hearted. So moving on now to video number 2.